This is Providence Olympic.
Okay.
Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's 2013 Week 6. We're taking a look at the South Met Conference. I'm Dale Ross.
I'm Pet Man Matt Morrow.
And this game, Matt, we're going to look at is Providence going over to play Olympic. That's going to be at Waddell.
Okay.
Providence 2-2 against Olympic 3-1. Hokie predicts an OHS 28-point win. I don't see that. Last week, Olympic beat East Mecklenburg 49-6, and Providence didn't play. And you know, I'm a guy that likes stories within or around the game. And Justin's father, Bruce Harden, started out at Olympic. It was his first coaching job, and Justin was born when he was still at Olympic, but he wasn't old enough to be a water boy or anything. So just a little point, you know. And of course, Bruce was head coach over at Providence, and Justin was there, and Justin's now the head coach at Providence. So just, you know, some things to look at. Providence, I have said all year that they are my dark horse for this conference. I think they have an opportunity to win the conference. As we said before, this is probably the most competitive conference, and there's no real, we think there's a clear leader, but it's not like a big gap between West Mecklenburg and the rest of the teams. So if Providence is going to be that dark horse and win conference, of course it's got to start here, because if you were to pick, you know, conference, you know, favorites, you know, teams that can contend for the conference, Olympic's one of them. So, you know, knock Olympic out, and you're, you know, that much closer to obtaining. Obviously, you got to win all your ball games, but Olympic's going to be an important one, especially if some of these teams knock off each other, and you start looking at a conference champion with one, you know, loss, or I don't see two losses, but you know, it could happen, and then it's going to start coming to head-to-head stuff. So
right.
I think this is a very important game in conference play, and I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than a 28-point predicted win. I think for Olympic, we know Olympic can run, but I think Olympic needs to throw the ball some more. So you know, they've got a good quarterback. They've got some, you know, they've got some good skilled kids at their receiver. Their offensive average is somewhere over 400 yards in rushing this season a game. But really, I think they're going to need to throw the ball more in this ball game. Providence is a little bit bigger up front than the teams that they've played, other than Independence. I do believe they need to throw the ball more than what they've been, you know, 5-6 times a ball game. But they also, the run game is still going to be very important to them. So they do need to make sure that they have a run game established, but I don't think they need to live off the run game is what I'm saying. So establish the run game, but get the pass game in there. I think for defensively, the defensive line in Dinkins is going to have to play bigger. This is a big offensive line that they're going up against. So those guys are going to have to play bigger and relieve some pressure on the secondary by getting pressure on the quarterback. So I think the key for Olympic is going to be their defensive line play, more so than their secondary. I think it's going to be their defensive line play. For Providence, I really believe that you know, they need to get their pro. I'm just drawing a blank on their guy. I don't know why, but I think that Providence, a key would be to attack Olympics secondary. That's what I would come out and do. But don't be afraid to run the ball. You got a big line. I'd like to see, if I'm Providence, I'd like to see some good hard power blocking out of that line. And get back to, you know, to get downhill and get me 100. I'd like to have a 100+ yard rusher in this ball game if I'm Providence.
Well, for Providence, and to back you up on that, they have a guy in Gio Gonzalez that can get downhill and hit things pretty quick. They also have Brian Matar. He can, I believe, if I'm correct, he runs more of the jet sweeps type of stuff they run from the spread formation. So Providence is really good at having multiple ways of running the football. So I think their key is just to be balanced. You know, the pass is going to be there if they need it. Of course, Austin Prohl, I don't think Olympic has anyone that can match up with him one-on-one. So you'll probably see some type of zone coverage, probably something similar to the way they played Independence, where they were kind of zone blitzing, trying to confuse the quarterback a little bit. I think Providence may see that kind of look, so they'll just have to, you know, run from spread looks, and if they get to a condensed formation, maybe throw from that, just to keep them off balance. I think the key for Olympic, like you say, throw the ball more. I really do think that Providence is going to load up on the run here, looking at those stats and the tendency that Olympic shows. So Olympic's going to have to be able to make plays through the air. They have the guys to do it. I think, like I said in the earlier video, you do that off of play action. East Meck put up 22 points on Providence. They're not the best team in the world, so you can obviously make plays down the field against that secondary. I think that it's going to be a really, really close game. I don't really feel strongly either way yet. I always do my prediction. Well, I try to do my predictions on Thursday. But I think it's going to be a really good game. And, you know, both sides have star players. And I think it's really going to come down to who really shows up and who wants to be the man. I think on both sides of the ball here. You got Garcia for Olympic. You got Dinkins for Olympic. You got Means at receiver. Providence, you got Pro, obviously. You got Bentley Spain on the line. And Caleb York at quarterback's been doing a good job. So, you know, who's going to be the man? Who wants to get it done?
I agree. Maybe who come down to who really wants this ball game, who wants to step up and take the conference. Because I'm like you, I don't feel strongly either way. I believe this game can go either way. I believe it's the best game in the city from what I've looked at. I believe this will be the most competitive and two fairly good ball teams. You're not having two bad ball teams playing each other for a competitive game. Here you got two, I think, very good ball teams playing each other in what should be I'm going to guess a one-score game either way. So there you go. It's also Time Warner Cable's game of the week. So if you don't get a chance to go to the game, you can probably catch the game on TV.